There is a moment that happens almost every night, and most dog owners completely ignore it. You lie down, adjust your blanket, maybe scroll your phone for a few seconds, and then you feel it. A soft weight beside you. A quiet presence. Your dog curls up next to you, closer than necessary, sometimes pressed against your legs, sometimes resting their head on your chest, and sometimes just watching you in the dark. It feels comforting. It feels normal. But what if I told you this behavior is not just about affection? What if your dog is actually doing this for a reason that goes much deeper? Something instinctive, something emotional, something that most people completely misunderstand. And once you see it, you will not be able to unsee it. Because your dog is not just sleeping next to you. They are trying to tell you something, and you will understand it later. Most people believe they already know why their dog sleeps next to them. They love me. They feel safe with me. They are just being cute. And yes, those answers are not wrong. But they are incomplete. Because what looks like a simple act of affection is actually layered with instinct, survival patterns, emotional dependency, and something much more personal than people realize. Dogs do not just choose a sleeping spot randomly, especially not next to a human. In the wild, sleep is the most vulnerable state any animal can be in. It is when they cannot react quickly. It is when predators strike. It is when survival depends entirely on trust and positioning. So when your dog chooses to sleep next to you, they are making a decision that goes beyond comfort. They are placing you inside their circle of safety. But here is what most people miss. Sometimes, it is not just about them feeling safe because of you. Sometimes, it is about you being safe because of them. Let us start with something simple. You are lying in bed, and your dog slowly walks in. No noise, no excitement, just quiet steps. They circle once, twice. Then they settle down, pressing their body lightly against yours. Most people look at this and think they are getting comfortable. But that circling behavior, that is not random. That is ancient. It comes from a time when dogs had to flatten grass, check for danger, and position themselves strategically before sleep. And the fact that they do it next to you tells you something important. They are not just finding a spot. They are choosing you as the safest place in the environment. But here is the twist. It is not always because you are protecting them. It is because they have taken on the role of protecting you. You might not notice it, but your dog often positions themselves facing outward, not towards you. Their ears twitch at the smallest sound. Their body stays slightly alert, even in sleep. And while you are resting peacefully, they are still monitoring the world. This is called sentinel behavior. In packs, one member often stays semi-alert while others sleep deeply. And if your dog has bonded strongly with you, they may unconsciously take on that role. So when they sleep next to you, they are not just relaxing. They are watching, guarding, listening. But we will come back to that, because it gets even deeper. Now imagine this. You have had a long day. Maybe you are stressed. Maybe you are quiet. Maybe something feels off, even if you do not say it out loud. Your dog notices, not through words, but through subtle shifts. Your breathing changes. Your movements slow down. Your energy drops. Later that night, your dog comes closer than usual, closer than they normally sleep. Maybe they press their body fully against yours, or rest their head directly on you. Most people think they just want attention. But here is what is really happening. Dogs are incredibly sensitive to emotional states. Studies in animal behavior have shown that dogs can detect stress hormones like cortisol, even through scent. They do not just see your emotions, they feel them. And when they sense something is off, they do not create distance. They reduce it. Sleeping next to you becomes a form of emotional regulation for you and for them, because your calm stabilizes them, and their presence stabilizes you. It is a silent exchange, a shared emotional rhythm, and that closeness at night, it is not random, it is intentional. But here is what most people misunderstand. Sometimes, when a dog sleeps extremely close, almost clingy, it is not just love. It can be insecurity. Let us say your dog follows you everywhere during the day, room to room, step by step, and at night, they refuse to sleep anywhere except right next to you. maybe even touching you at all times. People often say, "That is so cute. They are obsessed with me." But in reality, this behavior can be rooted in dependency. Dogs are social animals. But when their sense of safety becomes too centered around one person, it can create anxiety when that person is not present. Sleeping next to you becomes less about comfort and more about reassurance. I need to know you are here. I need to feel you close. I cannot fully relax otherwise. And this is where things get complicated, because what feels like love can sometimes be a subtle sign of emotional imbalance. Not dangerous, not wrong, but important to understand. Because your dog is not choosing you just out of affection. They are choosing you because in their world, you are their anchor. Now let us shift perspective. There is another reason dogs sleep next to their owners, one that goes back thousands of years. Pack bonding. In the wild, dogs sleep together not just for safety, but for connection. Physical closeness reinforces social bonds. It strengthens trust. It creates unity. So when your dog sleeps next to you, they are treating you like family, not in a symbolic way, but in a biological, instinct-driven way. You are part of their pack, and sleeping together is how that bond is maintained. But here is something interesting. Dogs do not do this equally with everyone. If there are multiple people in the house, they often choose one person to sleep closest to. Why? Because that bond is deeper, stronger, more emotionally significant. It is not random preference, it is attachment. And that choice says more than you think. But here is what most people miss. It is not always about who feeds them, or who plays with them, or who plays with them. It is about who they trust at their most vulnerable moment, sleep. Now think about this scenario. It is late at night. You move slightly in your sleep. Your dog instantly wakes up, even if it is just for a second. Even if they do not fully open their eyes, they register it. Most people do not notice this, but it happens constantly. Dogs are light sleepers, especially when they are close to someone they care about. And this is not accidental. It is protective. They are tuned into your movements, your sounds, your presence. Because in their mind, your safety is part of their responsibility. But here is the deeper layer. This behavior does not just come from instinct. It comes from attachment, strong attachment. Because a dog that does not feel connected does not monitor you like that. They do not stay that aware. They do not stay that close. So when your dog sleeps next to you and reacts even to your smallest movements, they are not just resting, they are connected. Constantly. And this is where everything starts to come together. Because all these behaviors, the closeness, the positioning, the awareness, the emotional sensitivity, they all point to one core truth. Your dog does not just see you as an owner, they see you as part of their survival system, their emotional system, their social world. And sleeping next to you is where all of that comes together. But here is one final thing, something subtle, something most people never think about. Temperature. Not just physical temperature, but warmth as a signal. Dogs are drawn to warmth. It reminds them of early life, sleeping with their litter mates, surrounded by bodies, heartbeats, shared heat. So when they sleep next to you, that warmth is not just comfort. It is familiarity. It is memory. It is safety encoded from the very beginning of their life. And when they press against you, they are not just warming up. They are returning to something deeply rooted in their biology. Something that says, this is safe. This is home. So the next time your dog curls up next to you at night, do not just see it as a cute habit.